Tonight we have a Trail Tales Bonanza. We'll show how historians may tell the story of 2016 in the form of an old-school documentary.
His vast communication network overwhelmed the establishment that was still using flip phones from a bygone era.
And we'll show how we could tell the story to our kids.
Fix that mess as fast as I can.
Plus our game show, Political Squares, with our panel of stars, and maybe a few surprises along the way. This is Money, Power, and Politics.
President Trump. The political elite in both parties did not see that coming. Republicans were blindsided first.
To the Republican elite, one man was poison, the other more like a bullet to the head.
Again, it's like being shot or poisoned. What does it really matter?
But as the war dragged on and General Trump battered the resistance, the Republican elite decided to drink the poison.
What turns you on about Cruz?
That he's not Trump. You might find an antidote to poisoning. I don't know, but maybe there's time.
Time was running out as General Trump conquered states to the north and south. The wall that pitted brother against brother was winding down. General Trump took over the Twitter lines and used it to feed his war machine.
Prior to the Great Republican War, Twitter was a novelty. Trump used it as a great weapon of war.
To the Republican elite, he was a clown or angry old crank.
Just angry all the time.
Folks, Donald Trump is not a serious person. This is a carnival act.
But the brash general's colorful observations captivated a people tired of politics as usual.
Trump has never seen a thin person drinking Diet Coke?
He must be smart because he says his IQ is the highest. For he extends best wishes to all, even the haters and losers.
His vast communication network overwhelmed the establishment that was still using flip phones from a bygone era. He used it to transport his agenda and activate his troops on a moment's notice to repel the resistance.
I heard Lion Ted was going to be here.
Lion. Once again, Lion Ted!
General Cruz was overwhelmed.
America is a better country.
Without you.
Thank you for those kind sentiments.
Trump's army ambushed his regiment and taunted him by calling him a fish monster.
You look like a fish monster, and you're a terrible person!
Surrounded by hecklers, Cruz's regiment braced for a final stand in Indiana. General Trump set course for Appomattox Courthouse and prepared his terms for surrender.
I hope it doesn't involve violence, and I don't think it will. But I will say this. It's a rigged system. It's a crooked system.
Oh, how I wish our future leader would stop calling our own system rigged and crooked. I haven't slept in a year. General Reince Priebus.
Profound. He got some sleep there after the election. Okay, we'll bring you the next chapter in our continuing documentary series in the second half of our show. First, it's time to say goodbye to all of the candidates who tried to knock out Trump but failed. We'll start with the Republicans in the form of a popular children's book.
It's time now for Trail Tales.
Goodnight Field. In the great big race, there was a telephone and a little kiddies table and a picture of a sad campaign that was feeling some pain. Goodnight, Republican Field.
We're going to be here through the month of January. We're going to win Iowa.
Goodnight, Huck, and goodnight, Luck.
Ted had a tough week. Stood on a basketball court and called the hoop a basketball ring.
Listen, I had a slip of the tongue. Instead of saying rim, I said ring.
Goodnight, Hoops, and goodnight, Oops.
It's 3 agencies of government when I get there that are gone. Commerce, education, and the, what's the third one there? Let's see. Oops.
Goodnight, Comb, and goodnight, Brush.
What is that hair?
Goodnight, Walker, and goodnight, Talker.
Or we could be the biggest fools of all time.
Goodnight, Nobodies, and goodnight, Mush.
What do you list as Marco Rubio's top accomplishment that made you decide to endorse him?
There isn't a whole lot of accomplishments, Joe.
That's sad.
And goodnight to the big guy whispering hush.
Sit down and shut up.
Goodnight, Fall. And goodnight, Paul.
Which had previously brought a challenge in federal court.
Goodnight Ballad.
I'm so happy I can see them more.
And Goodnight Salad.
The fruit salad of their life is what I will look at.
Goodnight Zingers.
My party is going bat crazy.
And Goodnight Stingers.
This notion that Barack Obama doesn't know what he's doing is just not true.
There it is.
He knows exactly
there it is,
what he's
the memorized 25-second speech.
Well, that's the
there it is,
reason
everybody.
Goodnight Laugh. And Goodnight Gaff.
Many women who left their kitchens to go out and go door to door.
First off, I want to say your comment earlier about the women came out of the kitchen to support you. I'll come to support you, but I won't be coming out of the kitchen.
I got you.
Goodnight Jeb. And Goodnight Air. And goodnight noises everywhere.
Fix that mess as fast as I can.
Yeah, and now it's time to say goodbye to the Democrats who didn't make it.
It's time now for Trail Tales.
Goodnight Obama. In the great White House, politicians were all moving about, for the two-term leader was over and out.
Obama out.
The party had lasted for much of 8 years. It started much stronger than Howard Dean's cheers. There were fights on health care and years of gridlock, and a leader who sounded at times like the Spock.
Was the reference to Spock, is that a crack on my ears?
So the wannabes lined up for the chance to replace the two-term wonder who had rallied the base.
I have no more campaigns to run. My only agenda, I know because I won both of them.
But 4 of the 5 who ran for the chance fizzled out early and got kicked in the pants. Good night, O'Malley, and his hail to the chief. Good night, Jim Webb, who was having a beef.
People are going back and forth here for 10 minutes here. Let's start by trying to get in this conversation about 10 minutes. I've been waiting for 10 minutes. This hasn't been equal time. Unless somebody mentions my name, I can't get into the discussion.
He could not save his time or woo the base because he was constantly counting and bad out of place.
I often sound like a Republican in a room full of Democrats, or a Democrat in a room full of Republicans, and actually I take that as a compliment.
Why did he lose?
Well, because they lacked money and name ID and nobody knew who they were, not even President Obama.
Jack O'Malley? Where's Jack? All right, not Martin.
So good night, Martin, and good night, Bed, and good night to the senator who was over his head.
You voted for the very bill that made banks bigger.
The Glass-Steagall was my very first vote. I just arrived. My dad had died in office. I was appointed to the office. It was my very first vote.
Are you saying you didn't know what you were voting for?
I just arrived at Senate.
He seems nice. Bless his heart.
Mr. Speaker, I wish I had something profound to say today, and I don't.
And good night to the senator who took his last stand in a fight to the end as he was leading the band. The end.
Coming up, our mayors match wits on political squares, and we'll continue our mockumentary series on the Trump Revolution and the War of 2016. Okay, remember Hollywood Squares? It was basically a game show version of tic-tac-toe, but with celebrities in each of the squares who told silly jokes and sometimes tried to trick the contestants. Now, we pay tribute to that old show with something we call political squares. And we've brought in contestants from former Bucks players to the mayors of Tampa Bay. And here's how the mayors of Tampa and St. Pete wrapped it all up after matching wits for 4 straight weeks.
One of these stars is sitting in the secret square, and the contestant who picks it could win a special prize. Which star is it? John Wilson, Matt Towery, Vanessa Rufus, Laura Moody, Russell Rhodes, Jeff Tewksbury, Linda Hurtado, Marissa Lynn, or Charlie Belcher? All in the political squares. And here is the master of the political squares, Craig Patrick.
Well, here we go once more, a fourth Battle of the Bays. This is a special edition of Political Squares. Thank you for joining us. I'm Craig Patrick. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our contestants. We have the Battle of the Bay with Mayor Rick Weissman of St. Petersburg and Mayor Bob Buckhorn of Tampa. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be here.
This is the fourth round.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, well, it's 2-1 so far with Mayor Buckhorn. This is your chance to even it out. We earn a draw in this fourth round, or Mayor Buckhorn runs away with it. So there's a lot at stake here today. Who do you pick?
Well, I've got to go with Charlie again.
And look at that. He is the secret square.
Whoa! Wow, all this and the center and a secret? This is too much.
So once again, we have a very special prize if you get this one right. Here we go.
Better get this right, Mayor Kreisman. A lot at stake here.
NASA's New Horizons spacecraft launched in 2005. Which 2016 presidential candidate provided the quarter that is taped inside it?
I can't imagine any presidential candidate giving up money. No, they want to keep all that in the war chest to spend on advertising. Let's see, but if it was somebody, well, you know what, Jeb Bush, that makes sense. He was Florida's governor at the time. That's my answer, Jeb Bush.
Governor Jeb Bush, is he bluffing you or is he onto something?
I'm going to agree.
You got it right.
Yes, 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 yes. There you go.
That's the secret square, so you get a special prize. Let's take a look at what it is.
Trump steaks are the world's greatest steaks, and I mean that in every sense of the word.
Looks like you got some Trump steaks.
That's the prize?
Let's try something else. Let's give him another prize. What else do we have?
You've just won the Political Squares board game. Hours of fun for the whole family.
How do you like that?
That's much better.
There we go. That'll be a fun game to play at home.
Much easier. Yes.
All right, Mayor Buckhorn, you're up.
I will take John.
John, what was Edward Murrow's advice to you as an aspiring young journalist?
He said, forget it. No, he didn't. He said, pay attention, learn everything, and go easy on journalism because it will come.
Is that what Edward R. Murrow told John Wilson?
No, not even close.
Well, I'm afraid it was. And with that, we have an interesting game. He wasn't bluffing you. So here we have a great opportunity for Mayor Kreisman to even this thing out and work this into a draw. I think I know where you're going with this one.
I think you're right. Marissa for the win.
Marissa Lynn, are you ready for this?
I'm totally ready for it.
Who said Republicans understand the importance of bondage between a mother and child?
That would have to be Dan Potato Quayle.
Dan Quayle. That sounds too easy. Is she bluffing you, or is she?
Well, it could be him, or it could be George W. Bush.
There's a lot of candidates for that one.
I'm going to agree.
Agree. Well, the actual answer was Dan Quayle, and with this, look at this.
Woo!
That means it evens up. We have worked to a draw. Tampa and St. Petersburg, 2 games each. Congratulations to both of you.
Good game, Mr. Mayor.
Good game, very fitting.
Thank you so much for joining us. We had a lot of fun. Of course, we'll bring you back for some serious issues throughout the year. Thank you so much for your time.
All right.
Okay, we'll be right back. Well, please check out our YouTube channel for more rounds of Political Squares. Search for Craig Patrick's Money, Power, and Politics and click subscribe at the top of the page. You'll also find all of our humor and satire segments, and that includes Trail Tales and our mockumentaries.
Called collusion, folks.
We'll take you back to the defining battle that marked the rise of Trump and the beginning of the end of politics of yesteryear. President Trump won the race to the White House on November the 8th, but the battle that got him there and changed the course of history played out on May 3rd in Indiana. And once more, in the spirit of Ken Burns, here's how President Trump pulled it off.
The Trumpians celebrate a great victory from the Mid-Atlantic through the smoldering fields of Gettysburg.
In fact, Trump is on track to win north of 50% of the vote in each of those states.
Mexico, beaten once in the loss of Texas, begins to worry.
I'm not going to pay for that wall.
Meanwhile, for General Cruz, the walls are closing in. Wounded and desperate, he joins forces with a shell-shocked lieutenant from Ohio who had lost dozens of battles but refused to surrender.
John Kasich has decided to pull out of Indiana.
So who should your supporters vote for in Indiana?
Well, I've never told them not to vote for me. They ought to vote for me.
They were tattered and confused, and General Trump made them pay.
Called collusion, folks.
The outnumbered general from Texas needed another distraction.
I am flattered, but how can you pick a running mate after you've been mathematically eliminated? This could be the weirdest week of my life. Carly Fiorina.
She fought the good fight, but may be best remembered that week for giving America the Ballad of Carly.
We travel on the bus all day, we get to play, we get to play.
Cruz's maneuver didn't work.
The next president of the United States.
His running mate fell by his side.
Cruz was tired, and when Trump implied his great-great-grandfather knew John Wilkes Booth, he just snapped.
I tell you what I really think of Donald Trump.
General Cruz made his last stand in Indiana, delivering a blistering attack in what would be known as the Evansville Address.
This man is a pathological liar. Listen, Donald Trump is a serial philanderer, describes his battles with venereal disease as his own personal Vietnam, a caricature of a braggadocious, arrogant buffoon.
But Florida Governor Rick Scott had already helped Trump lock in the blockade, and Cruz's regiment charged into fixed bayonets.
We gave it everything we've got, but the voters chose another path.
Fate carried General Cruz to victory in 10 states. Then fate hammered him down.
Trump accepted Cruz's surrender, reconstructed his war-torn party, and set his sights on Washington.
Coming up, Charlie Belcher has the mail, and we have some closing thoughts. Charlie Belcher contributes a lot to our show, and a lot of you are asking, what is he thinking sometimes? So I thought we could go back and take a look at what's going on inside his head.
Welcome to my brain. Yeah, this is what it looks like. Plenty of space. Oh, hey, what are you doing here? I'm left brain, I live here. Right, of course, yes. Well, you look nice. What's with the sport coat? Did you not know you were going to be on TV today? You put on a sport coat, you're going to be on TV. What? No, I know. Well, I wore one to work today. I took it off in the mailroom. Wait, he took it off in the mailroom. Why are you still have it on? Look, I don't know how this dream sequence stuff works. Why are you asking me? Look, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let's not debate that. The purpose of coming in here to the brain is explaining to folks how where debates start in our own heads. Of course, everybody knows that. Everybody argues with themselves. Right.
You know, on second thought, let's not do that. Let's just take a look at how he brings our viewers into the mix.
You ever hear anybody arguing about politics?
All the time.
Really? Who do you hear arguing about politics?
All these adults.
A lot of just negative stuff about the other parties and all that jazz, I guess.
Yeah, jazz is a good, thank you for saying jazz. Jazz is a good way to say it. What's a Republican? Do you know?
No.
Yeah. What's a Democrat? Do you know?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I was really hoping you could help me out on that one. No, I have never spoken to someone in Australia before, so it's a first for both of us. Yeah, I'm glad you picked up. I gotta go. G'day, mate. Hello, Money Power Politics viewers. Charlie Belcher here. While Craig has been busy at the RNC and now the DNC, I have been guarding his desk, making a few long-distance phone calls on his phone, and I've been eating Zaltoids. Craig has very fresh breath. Now I know why. But of course, it's time to check the mailbag. So, I don't even know who some of these people are.
You listen to me, O'Reilly.
Oh, hey, Russell, I have some of your mail here. I'm the one delivering now because I do such a good job on Money Power Politics that they want me to, maybe I'll be the have a good day. Kayla Bouillon says, you're awesome. Probably meant that for Craig. I will pass that along, that Craig is awesome. Thank you, Kayla. Susie says, love your Sunday night show. Better than SNL. Judge Jessica, love it. OMG, still laughing. Watching live now. Susie, thank you for the email, but Judge Jessica, I think you mean Judge Marissa. It's a good thing Marissa is not here to hear that.
Actually, she is.
Oh! How long have you been standing there?
Forever.
Oh. Well, Susie thinks you're very funny. Right? I mean, that's good, right?
Jessica could be synonymous with Marissa, maybe, in another language.
You look like a Jessica. You could be a Jessica, maybe a Zoe, maybe a Francis.
Maybe. I don't think my parents are gonna like this though.
Oh, wait. Susie actually sent a follow. She sent a follow-up message. She says, Marissa, not Jessica.
There
Oops,
we go.
Fox 13 rocks.
Yeah, we do.
There you go. She got it right.
You rock, Susie.
All right. Go back to wherever you. How does she do that? Keep those emails coming. mppmailbag@yahoo.com. I guess that's it for me this week. Y'all take care now. Back to you, Craig.
All right, thank you, Charlie. That's our show, and thank you all for watching Money, Power, and Politics.